22, Farr, T. Farr.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Decatur, Georgia, just inside the loop of Atlanta for the last part of this homestay, at least temporary homestay for the Gainesville Gol'Diggers against the Atlanta Crackers. They will be back in Lawrenceville next week. They will also be on the road this weekend playing the Atlanta Astros. But without further ado, my name is TJ Stevens. We'll talk a little bit about the last game before we get settled into this one, and it was a doozy to say the least. If you are a Gol'Diggers fan, it was 13-7, the highest scoring game of the week, of opening week, and probably of one of the highest scoring games of all of SBL opening week. But obviously there was a lot of highlights to talk about within that series. First off, let's talk about Brody Boweja. Came in, pitched a wonderful first few innings, 4 strikeouts, and I believe it was 2 points, if my notes are correct. I think 2.5 innings that he was able to come out and do that. Unfortunately for the Gol'Diggers, got off to a very tough start. Cole Munhall, a pitcher who very much has the pedigree and has the experience to deliver at this level, but got off to a pretty tough start. Ended up allowing 4 runs in that very first inning. And from there, it only got a little more awkward as Gainesville would try to come back. They grabbed a run in the third, grabbed a run in the fourth, and before you knew it, it was also 4 runs for the Crackers all over again in the fourth. And when you have this much talent and returning talent from last year's championship roster, it almost seemed like it was bound to happen. I mean, you could see the RBIs here. I mean, Gable with 4, Jackson with 3, Hilton with 2. Hilton also picking up a double as well, bringing in those 2 RBIs. And the team kind of had their way with the Gol'Diggers, also picking up 5 runs in the 6th to get to 13. But Gainesville, however, just like last season, did show plenty of prowess and plenty of ability to hit the ball. Also picked up 4 runs in the 6th, just to give you a little bit of hope before we get out of here at about 11:20 Eastern Time on a Monday night. Now, granted, are we going to hope that today is as filled with content? Absolutely, but maybe not. Staying until 11 p.m. tonight would be the goal, but we're in the prime time slot here on a beautiful Wednesday, and we are about to get started. On the mound first for the Gol'Diggers, it's going to be the lefty in Trey Farr, who had a pretty decent showing last game. We'll talk more about that in a second, but Jaden Nunez will return. We'll pop this one high and over the back, and it will start the game off with an 0-1 count. Farr, the lefty, delivers for the second pitch. Trying to paint the outside, but Nunez will paint it between 2, and just like that, 2 pitches in, first hit of the game, and Nunez is already on first.
Now up, left fielder Connor Hilton.
Connor Hilton gets the big move up to the 2nd spot in the lineup. Was sitting, I believe, in the 5th spot prior. I mean, didn't exactly have a dream previous game. I mean, ended up finishing, let's see here, was 2 for 4, so a great game with 2 RBIs, don't get me wrong. But outside of that, I think with his pedigree and his expectations after being named to All-SBL last year, getting those all-star type of honors. I think you expect just a little bit more, but, I mean, in a 13-7, nothing to complain about there as the first ball will come in. Follow-up pitch from Farr. That one's down the middle. Catching the inside a little more so, I do say. Makes it 1-1. Again, Farr had a great showing. Didn't end up pitching 2 innings. Pitched 1.2. Did get 2 strikeouts, though, but Hilton will poke that one out to left field. Advances the runners around and gets a single of his own.
Now up, center fielder number 8, Caleb Farr.
That right there is the type of production that you expect from Hilton. I'm sure we'll see more from that. Caleb Farr comes up to the plate now. Farr, as well, had a decent showing. We'll take this first strike, however. Follow-up look will be fouled off. They'll bring it to an 0-2 count. Gainesville have to be feeling at least some form of shade of Monday's game. I mean, again, you allowed 4 runs to come in after a nightmarish start. Already have 2 runners on base, no outs recorded. Gainesville really struggled to find that first out all of Monday. Next pitch is off the back. There will be a free base. Bases are loaded just like that.
Number 36, extra hitter Tyler Jackson.
You let an 0-2 count slide away at the hand of, or I guess I should say off the back of Caleb Farr. That's Farr-on-Farr violence as Tyler Jackson will come up to the plate now. For those of you not as familiar with the Sunbelt Baseball League, there is an extra hitter slot as well, so we get 10 batters on the lineup. That's the role that Tyler Jackson is going to fill. Jackson as well, 2 for 4, 3 RBIs as we talked about in the pregame. Had a wonderful hitting performance, looking to try and add a few. Will be caught going on the strike there. Again, Trey Farr just trying to get out of this one alive. Still needs to record that first out of the inning. The next offering. Big breaking ball, but couldn't catch top of the zone. Makes it 1-1. Farr's next pitch. You can take all the time you want when the bases are loaded. Next pitch is in. Will be outside. Brings the count 2-1. Trey Farr as well, currently at Columbus State, a rising sophomore. Spent his time at East Forsyth High School. Was also the ace for East Forsyth, looking to take that role here on the Gol'Diggers roster, but needs a better start here. That one slammed out towards center field, needs to be caught and rallied in quickly. Tag up from third will be in, but the throw actually goes to third. Will at least stop the runners from advancing, but Crackers will take the lead already. It's great set hitting from Tyler Jackson. That's why you put him in that extra hitter role. Braden Gable up to the plate now. We'll look to keep the RBIs coming. Has to get those runners off of first and second. First pitch will find the outside of the plate. Kick it off 0-1. Gable, 2 for 3 last game. 4 RBIs. Again, a wonderful hitting performance from the 4 and the 5 in this lineup. Looking to keep that going. Another pitch. That one in the dirt. Very well controlled from Ozzie Patterson, who had a really great game, both on and off the plate, defense and offense. Had a double that you saw in the pregame as well. Doesn't let much past him. Farr's next pitch. Ooh, potential steal. Might catch a runner here. Throw is just a little too far, and it won't be corralled in for a tag. Far now, looking back down the barrel. That one, close but no cigar, will catch the outside. Brings the count to 2-1. Here in the middle of the Crackers lineup, only 1 out recorded. Or actually 0 outs recorded, excuse me. No, there is 1 out recorded. That one, was it caught? Don't believe it was. But it will at least be a force out at third. Great heads-up play from Dawson Vaughn there over at third. Brings it to 2 outs.
Now batting, shortstop number 3, Luke Nazar.
Runners will remain at first and second. Luke Mazar comes back up. Mazar, I believe the stat sheet is wrong. It says that he was 0-3 on Monday night. I don't believe that's true. Mazar was on a lot of peculiar positions in the hitting column, however. Mostly had multiple RBI chances every time they came up to bat, but that's the way the Crackers were moving Monday night. Farr, however, has found his way into 2 outs and keeping these runners at bay. Only 1 run allowed wouldn't be the nightmarish scenario, especially when you allowed 4 on Monday. Next pitch. In the dirt. That'll be 1-1. Farr praised for a changeup and a sweeping curve. Won't need it. How about a fastball right there down the gut? Brings it to 1-2. Mazar looking to keep this inning alive. Off the bat. Will at least keep himself in it for now. Count will remain at 1-2. Quick words exchange between Patterson and Farr. Just need 1 more pitch to get out of this inning with 2 runners left on base. Farr's next pitch. In the dirt. Wasn't able to be fielded, and that will be a steal onto third. Brings the count to 2-2. Mazar now in a prime spot. Just need to poke this one past the infield. Farr, however, does not want it to be a repeat of Monday. Trying to get out of it here. Once again, staying alive is Luke Mazar. Gainesville's lineup not nearly as deep as the Crackers lineup as well, so you'll take all these extra pitches here in inning number 1. Trying to get out of the top of the first, breaking ball. Framed well, but to the chagrin of many of the Gainesville patrons, will not be counted a strike. We're up to full count. Looking at bases loaded versus out of the inning with only 1 run allowed. Trey Farr rearing back. Potential final pitch here. That one is off of Mazar, and that will be bases loaded. Up next will be Nathan Schaefer to the plate. Schaefer as well didn't find too much in the hitting column last game. But now, with 2 outs and 3 players on base, no time better than the present. Trey Farr, however, still has a chance to get out of this one alive, but Have to be cautious of your decision making here. First pitch. Changeup is in, but off the dirt. Fielded well enough by Ozzie Patterson. Brings the count to 1-0 to start. Gainesville as well have avoided any errors. I mean, Dawson Vaughn as well made a very hard play at third base to keep that from happening. It's one of their biggest issues last game. That one poked out towards left field is tracked, but will have to be caught in front. It'll hit the ground first, and it'll bring in 2 runs. Huge 2 RBI single for Nathan Schaefer. Dard not able to get to that one in time. Continues the nightmare scenario for Gainesville.
Second baseman Colby Cather.
At the 8th slot in the lineup now with second baseman Colby Cather. Looking to keep the run going. Breaking ball is in for strike 1. Far off to a good start, looking to stay ahead in the count. Will step off. I think lost his balance temporarily. We'll reset here for pitch 2. Far's next offering. Another breaking ball will advance the runners after it's a wild delivery. I believe did catch him swinging, though. Far, once again, trying to get out of a dangerous spot here. Double breaking balls into next pitch. Does force a swing, was inside. Gainesville did allow 4 runs in the first inning of that Monday night opening game. Breaking ball once again will catch the bat. Cather staying alive. Again, just need any sort of poke out pass in the infield to bring this runner in. Potentially 2, like Schaefer was able to do. As the Crackers continue to have their way with their offense. Next pitch is in. Once again off the bat. Racking up the pitch count if you're Trey Farr. Gainesville ended up having to go through, I believe, 4 pitchers. Or 5 pitchers, excuse me, in the last game. Only had successful stints with 2 of them. Then again, their lineup isn't nearly as deep as the Crackers lineup. That one will catch them swinging. That will be out number 3, and it's not a dream scenario, but it's one that Gainesville has shown they can fight back from. We'll see what they bring in the bottom of the first. Up to start for Gainesville will be Anthony Almaroth. Let's talk about the board there. Mason Archie will get the biggest move in the lineup, jumping all the way up to third. Jason Williams will be bumped down to the sixth hole. A.J. Jones and Evan Warren will try and hold it down after great hitting performances at 9 and 10 as well. Ozzie Patterson between all of them, who had a double last game as well. But once again, it's Anthony Almaroth who will start it off. Almaroth last game, 1 for 3. Had a decent showing. We'll take the first strike here. Slider tries to make its way in, but will stop short. Almaroth as well just recently committed to Patrick and Henry Community College as of this February, so congratulations to him. Man representing Buford. That slider as well tried to catch a zone, but will not. Representing Flowery Branch High School. Also at a 3.8 GPA. Wishing Almaroth the best next fall, or next spring. Take a strike out of that one. On the mound for the Atlanta Crackers, it's Zach Tierney. Lefty versus lefty in this game to start. Great eye there from Almaroth. Bring it at 3 balls. Tierney's next pitch. Drifts outside. It will be a walk to start the game for Gainesville.
Now batting, second baseman, number 5, Amani Ford.
Amani Ford will make his debut today. Was not able to join the team on Monday, but the Kennesaw State commit from Parkview High School find his way onto the plate. We'll start at Kennesaw State next spring. Very excited for what he might have in store. That pitch is outside for ball 1. Zach Tierney, fun fact as well, as you can probably tell, stands at a wildly huge 6'4". But funny enough, even though he is one of the tallest pitchers on this team, they have multiple 6'4" pitchers, just to show the Crackers championship intimidation. Tierney will try to continue that with a 1-0 count here. Tries to catch Almaroth slipping, but he'll find his way to the base. Gainesville does have a lot of speed. A lot of players who are running sub 1.5 second 10-yard dashes, but aren't ultra aggressive on the stolen bases. A.J. Jones found his way into 2 stolen bases. Big chunk out of that one. Find its way foul. These teams always love to go the distance. I mean, again, a very long game last night. But also 2 teams I think you could argue could be facing up later in the playoffs this season as well. Gainesville again has shown that high offense potential, scoring 4 runs in the 6th inning of that Monday night game. Have to get on their high horse a little sooner, though. That throw is great onto Almaroth, but again, it won't catch him slipping enough. Eyes back down on the batter for Zach Tierney. Lefty delivers. Breaking ball won't catch the plate. Brings the count to 3-1. Next offering. That one is outside. That's another ball 4.
Now batting, center field, number Number 12, Mason Archie.
Mason Archie gets the biggest move out of any player on either lineup to the 3 spot. After a 3 RBI triple. The only triple of last game. One of the only triples across the league in the opening week as well. One of the fastest players in the league as well, I might add. One of the fastest players on this team as well. Looking to show that dominance and brilliance on the base running. If he can get back on right here. That pitch is inside but looked to be low. Will be ball 1. No outs. As Gainesville's coach is very loudly reminding the team here. They are in a great spot. Granted, you did allow 3 runs in the top of the first, but one hit can change that right here. That one smacked out. Right fielder trying to get there. Will not. Runners finding their way around. Almaroth looking home and will be there uncontested. Once again, Mason Archie gets an RBI and a big one at that to kick off the scoring for Gainesville.
Now batting, number 3, left fielder Noah Darden.
Braden Gable out there in right field couldn't get to it in time, and now Noah Darden in the 4 spot makes his way to the plate. Darden, the only returning Gol'Digger on this roster as well. Darden, transferring from the University of North Georgia to West Georgia this coming spring, had a decent grouping of stats, at West Georgia. Talk about that in a second. First pitch in for Tierney. Will be swung at. Mason Archie tried to get a move on, but isn't able to off the foul ball. Amani Ford, again getting his start with the team today, sitting there at third base. Noah Darden will take Tierney's next pitch here, down 0-1. Will Mason Archie try and steal again? The answer is a no. Darden another swing at it, but it will go foul the opposite direction. 0-2 as Tierney looks for his first out this inning. Archie, big lead. Staring down Tierney. Again, still won't go. That one swung at, but will once again be foul. Count will remain 0-2 with runners on first and third. Stranded at the corners for now. A lot of runners stranded for Gainesville last game as well. Ended up leaving 5 runs on base last game. However, did match the Atlanta Crackers in hits. Both had 7. But that efficiency and utility out of the bats is something that the Crackers have tested and have prepared. That's why they are the defending champions. They showed that. That one swung at between third and short. Will find its way through. Running throw will not get there in time. And of all the pokes to poke through, you'll take it if you're Noah Darden. We might be in for a little bit of cinema here tonight. Score is already up to 3-2.
Now up, first baseman, number 14, Cade Kiz.
Still no outs. Cade Kiz will make his way to the plate. Kiz, a player who slipped onto the roster very last minute. Was 1 for 4 last game. Struck out twice, looking to bounce back from that. First pitch is in. Is low. Count will start 1-0. Sitting at the dead center of this Gainesville lineup. They only had 9 batters on Monday, but with the addition of Amani Ford, they do have the full 10 today. Have really put them to work so far. Attempted pickoff there will be just a little too telegraphed, and so Tierney won't find anyone at second base. Again, Gainesville's coach is reminding the runners on base, no outs, smart base running is needed here to stay alive and potentially take the lead. Next pitch is in. Is cracked at, but will bring the count to 1-1. It's a good hack, though. A little bit on Cade Kiz, representing Woodstock, representing Blessed Trinity specifically, as that one is sky high. Should be fielded by the second baseman, and it will. But Kiz, a player at Georgia Southern, which we'll talk more about later on the rising sophomore, but he'll provide the first out of the inning. That'll bring up one of the more exciting prospects on this roster in Jason Williams.
Now batting DH number 4, Jason Williams.
A Georgia Southern commit, so funny enough, will be joining Cade Kiz. Also a rising freshman, so we'll get to play for them next spring. Double steal attempt for these runners is going to be tracked down by the catcher. No, it will slip behind. Potential for out number 2 there won't be found, but also regarding Jason Williams, had a wonderful, wonderful season at Denmark High School. Was the Region 6 to 6A Player of the Year. Batted .475 from the plate for them. 47 hits as well. Pretty incredible high school season, looking to bring that to the college level at Georgia Southern next spring. Here in the Sunbelt League, you'll face a lot of that level of talent. So far, Zach Tierney trying to show that. Next offering is in. Will find its way outside. Brings the count to 1-1. Still only one out. You're in a good spot if you're Gainesville, but you would love it if your 6-hitter incoming freshman at Georgia Southern could find a way to poke one through here. Pitch is in. Swung out and low. Brings it to 1-2, and again, Gainesville's coach, a lot more vocal this game than last game. Just reminding his players that it only takes one good pitch. That's all you need. Jason Williams looking to find that off of Tierney's left hand. Follow up. Will be low and outside. What a set of pitching from Zach Tierney. That'll give him 2 outs. Runners still stranded at first and second. Again, this is what Gainesville's biggest issue was in the first game. Well, second biggest issue outside of the unfortunate start. Can't be leaving all these runners on base. So up to the plate next, it'll be Dawson Vine. Vaughn trying to keep the momentum alive. Swung at him, but fouled off.
Now batting number 17, third baseman, Dawson Vaughn.
A little bit on Dawson Vaughn. We thought originally he was going to be a pitcher for this Gainesville roster. Still could, but has been at third base on Monday night. Seems to be at third base again tonight. We'll talk more about his pitching stats later. Follow-up offering is towards him. Breaking ball won't catch the plate. Brings it to 1-1. Sitting at the 7th spot in the Gol'Diggers lineup. Both teams doing an incredible job of keeping the offense rolling like they did last season, even though in a league like this you do swap a lot of players out. Gainesville doing it with significantly less on the roster overall. This one hit out towards center, will be dropping in front, will be corralled though, and it will be out number 3. So 2 runners will be left on the bases, and we'll have to see if Gainesville can continue to bounce back like they showed towards the later stages of Monday night's game. But we'll also see what the Crackers bring back to the plate at the top of the second. Crackers will look to continue right where they left off, and here is that lineup for the Crackers we didn't get to talk about at the top of the first, but here in the second, again, plenty of production. That one is skied over towards the backstop. Tracking it down with an underhand catch is Ozzie Patterson. First out within one pitch.
Now batting. Number 1, Jaden Nunez.
Skying out was Jack Taylor, I do believe. That'll now be Jaden Nunez up to the plate. At the top of the order all over again for the Crackers, but with an out this time around. Big breaking ball will catch Nunez swinging. I do apologize. That is actually Braden Warren at the plate. That is not Jaden Nunez. Excuse me. Sitting at the bottom of the Crackers hitting lineup. Well, he'll be struck out just like that. Now it'll be Jaden Nunez making his way up to the plate. 2 outs, however. Very reminiscent of Monday night's game. Gainesville had a wonderful set of pitching in innings 2 and 3. But whenever Atlanta wants to score, they seem to do it at will. Nunez will watch that first ball go by. Looking to light any sort of spark, but that one popped out right to the first baseman. And how about that set of pitching there? I mean, Trey Farr was wonderful Monday night, but I believe in under 6 pitches will get us out of the top of the second. How about that one? We'll return with the bottom, and Gainesville will try to play off that momentum. In that Monday night game, Gainesville really struggled to be the one to set the tone first. However, here at the plate for Gainesville, I believe this is Ozzie Patterson picking it up, who had, once again, as we talked about in the pre-show, had a wonderful showing. 1 for 3 with a 2 RBI, or no, excuse me, did not have a double, but just had 2 RBIs. Will try to get himself on base. Will find one right behind the third baseman. Ozzie Patterson will get on base. That momentum is exactly what they need, and looks like we will have a pinch runner.
Now to the plate, right fielder 1, A.J. Jones.
Trying to see who that might be out there pinch running. Looks to be potentially number 2, Jock Walker. We'll confirm that if he makes his way around. Either way, pinch runner comes in. Again, Gainesville's got a lot of speed, and so with 0 outs, you love this position if you're A.J. Jones. A.J. Jones as well, somebody who showcased their speed Monday night with 2 stolen bases. Did get rewarded for those efforts, making their way home as well. And here in the 9-hole, a very dangerous hitter still. AJ represents Motlow State Community College. Tried to lay a bunt down, but will pay the price as that one was a little too low and outside. AJ used to play at Shorter University, but at Motlow this past spring. Hit .395 through 23 games, 30 total hits, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs, and 17 stolen bases. Also at his freshman year with Shorter University last year, had 34 stolen bases and hit .281. We'll take a big chunk out of the air, though. But again, that type of production in the 9-hole is absurdly dangerous to have, and it's why Gainesville are by far a favorite. Obviously, no bias here on the broadcast, but home team looking to, again, set the tone. It's what they struggled to do Monday night. Tierney's next pitch find its way towards Jones. Another big chunk out of that one. That'll be strike number 2. The bunt was actually a ball, so excuse me for not catching that one. Will there be another bunt attempt? No, that ball will catch the outside. That ball as well with the bounce is actually right on the head, and it'll be called out. Oh, coach will immediately run out to argue that one, and I cannot blame him. I thought for certain he was safe. That's why you bring in the pinch runner. But also, I mean, on the bounce, a throw from Nathan Schaefer was on a line even with the bounce. Call will stand. Not really a VAR system or a New York booth to call, so that's how it will remain for out number 1. That'll clear the runners off, and again, that's a tough one to stomach if you're a Gainesville fan. Really would have loved to have those runners moving along. Excuse me. Big chunk out of that one, and Tierney, just like that, will have 2 outs. Sitting at the bottom of the Gainesville lineup now will be Evan Warren. Warren sits in the extra hitter slot in the lineup. Also, didn't have too much success at the plate, striking out twice. Did, however, reach the bases off of a walk. Looking to do that again, starting up 1-0 in the count. Trying to keep the second inning going for just a little bit longer. Follow-up offering is in the dirt. However, Schaefer will stop that one after, again, being rewarded for what was a great skip over the head of Tierney. That one is in, is going to be struck. It will be a dribbler over to the third baseman, running throw! Big scoop from Cade Kiz. Or sorry, no, not Cade Kiz, excuse me. That's Braden Warren with the scoop there. After the throw from Jay Nunez takes a bounce.
After 2 complete, it's still Atlanta.
So without further ado, we make our way into the third. We still sit at 3-2 after 2 fairly quick half innings. See what the rest provides here at almost the halfway point. Number 4, Connor Hilton will make his way to the plate now.
Now batting number
Connor
4,
Hilton, a player that we talked very, very heavily about last broadcast, and for many, many good reasons. The junior at the University of West Georgia, again, was all Sunbelt League honors last season. Was at Gordon State prior to transferring to West Georgia, where he hit .388 with 80 hits, 18 of them being doubles and 36 RBIs in the process. He's also second team all-conference. Looking forward to what he'll continue to do at West Georgia. However, here in the Sunbelt has a wildly good history. And is in the second spot after being in, I believe, was the 4 or the 5 before for Atlanta. Trey Farr will also remain on the mound, encroaching into the third inning. Gainesville was not afraid to let their starter go the distance, as Cole Munhall, who started last game, went 3.1 innings. A very loud call off the ball from the shortstop. That'll be Anthony Almeroff calling everybody off there for the first out.
Now batting center fielder Caleb Farr.
Brings Caleb Farr to the mound now. Once again, Farr on Farr crime here. Trey has stayed wildly composed after that first inning. Will deliver a first strike here. And even though I do say that, I do want to give credit to Cole Munhall, because after Munhall had that unfortunate first inning, delivered 7 strikeouts in his stay over the next 2 half innings. Trey Farr looking to do that and a little bit more, as they'll look to find their first win for a pitcher on the team after starting 0-1 on Monday night. Farr back in. Big chunk of that one from Caleb Farr. Trey Farr brings the count to 0-2 now. Still do have that first out. Looking to find a strikeout here. It will hit the dirt, but it will be an easy put out from Patterson over to Kiz. And what a pitch from Farr.
Now batting extra hitter Tyler Jackson.
Again, Monday night's game, I think, had us all out of here at 11:20. These players do not want to get out late again. Very quick innings, potentially back-to-back for Trey Farr, if he can find another out right here. Tyler Jackson, not the player that'll make it easy, though. That one was cracked, but will be over the net. Will be called foul. Quick notes for Tyler Jackson as well, sitting in this extra hitter spot in the 4th hole, was 2025 All-SBL honors as a catcher, one of the biggest honors the league can bestow. Also at Southern Wesleyan University, started 31 of 34 games as a freshman, batting .236 with a home run and 4 doubles. Again, that power behind the plate is a big deal. Also one of many players with All-SBL honors on this team who are returning from last season. However, down 0-2 in the count for now. Farr, 2 pitches, 2 strikes, looking for 3 pitches, 3 strikes! Great breaking ball, but won't be enough. Was close, however. Staying alive for Tyler Jackson. Next pitch. Ooh, too low. 2-2 count now. Breaking ball into what seemed to be a changeup. Fastball has definitely gotten out of the rotation ever since the first inning. However, it'll come back and make an appearance there. We'll keep the count at 2-2. Farr very much praised once again for that 3-pitch mix. Was the number 47 left-handed pitcher in the state of Georgia coming out of his class. The rising sophomore once again was all-region in his senior year. We'll try to keep things moving. Great play from third base. Throw is flying across the field. Unbelievable set of fielding from Gainesville. That's Dawson Vaughn catching it on the line and slinging it over to Cade Kiz in Gainesville. Another quick half inning. After a nice piece of fielding from the Gol'Diggers, Tyler Zawacki will be the pitching change that Atlanta thinks they need. The righty's first pitch will go foul, but speaking more about Tyler Zawacki, currently a senior at Augusta University and has definitely made his round around college baseball. Was at Piedmont, found his way to Coastal Alabama, now is at Augusta. Senior represents Houston, Georgia. And we'll see what else they can bring in this game after starting 2-0, make it 3-0. Have yet to see the Crackers force into a big shifting position or a defensive position this season. But again, still a long ways to go between now and August, where they won last year. That one down the middle, though, just to keep the count alive, will make it 3-1. Follow-up pitch is going to be called strike. Brings the count to full. Gainsville don't want to start out with a strikeout and will not. That one will be outside and high. Runner will make his way to first. That was Anthony Almaroth with a great eye there. That brings up what seems to be Amani Ford.
Now up Amani Ford.
For those of you who are joining us late, I'll talk a little bit more about Amani Ford. Amani Ford is a Kennesaw State commit, is a rising freshman, so will be playing there next spring. Represents Parkview High School, one of the most exciting players, at least upcoming players on this roster. Takes a slice out of that one, we'll make it 0-1. Tyler Zawacki, though, again, a senior currently, plenty of years, and also has played at multiple different colleges. A lot of experience to bring to an Atlanta Crackers lineup that doesn't need it, but will take it. That one wasn't a strike. Was outside, and that throw was not nearly on a line as it was last inning. However, it will be caught up to by Luke Mezar. That will be a stolen base for Almaroth as well. Count goes to 1-1. For Zawacki. Or Zawacki. Will be delivered. Struck. Over towards shortstop. Will be fielded, but then it's an error, and all of a sudden Almaroth is driving home. Will get there uncontested, and Gainesville has tied the game. Any hit and play is a good hit, just like how all press is good press, and right there you'll count on Amani Ford, again, the rising freshman, to show you that. Unfortunately, that will be an error for Luke Mezar after just making a wonderful potential third base saving play off of Almaroth's steal. Crackers in a very tough spot now. Still no outs with a new pitcher. Zawacki's first pitch is cracked directly to the second baseman. Almost finds its way for the force out, and it will be counted. A double play of all double plays right there. Nothing's conventional in these late-night primetime games, but just like how you'll take the free bases, you'll take a free run, you'll take an error, you will also take a double play to get right back into it.
Now batting, left fielder, Noah Darden.
Mason Archie, a lot of power behind that hit, but just couldn't get over the second baseman. That's Colby Cather with the play there. Noah Darden in the 4 spot, trying to get back on track for Gainesville. Once again, though, a very quick 2 outs in this half inning. Zawacki's next look will be down and inside. will be corralled by Nathan Schaefer. Darden will look at this next pitch. It will be low again. Brings the count to 2-1. Definitely a lot more energy out of the Gainesville side from the coaching staff down to the players. They're showing that with a much more full dugout as well. It's almost night and day from Monday night the way they're fighting right now against the defending champions. Next pitch will go off the bat, but it will be weak after bouncing over once again. A great second baseman play from Colby Cather, who will find his way into being responsible for all 3 outs when it's all said and done. And Atlanta will get their way out of the bottom of the third. We'll find our way past the halfway point into the top of the fourth with the Crackers back up to bat.
1 run, 1 hit, no error, 1 error, and
Little bit of a curveball, full pun intended, for us in the booth here, because there is a pitcher by the last name of Bell that we do not have on any of our rosters. So we are going to be in this together as to what this pitcher has in store. But also for Gainesville, you will take bringing up another lefty. As for Atlanta, trying to get back on top here in the top of the fourth. First pitch will be a bunt attempt down the line. Will have to be fielded barehanded. Won't be caught up to by Dawson Vaughn. And that one will find its way after what was a very, very talented bunt from Braden Gable. Definitely unexpected. It's a pair of unexpecteds for us up here now as Gable finds his way onto first, and we also do not know who the pitcher is, but unfortunate way to start out. Try to bounce back here. It's going to be Luke Mezar up to the plate after a weird series of plays. How about another bunt? However, will be fielded. Double play was not going to be there. That one is close, but will be called an out.
Now batting catcher Nathan Schaefer.
So back-to-back bunts. I mean, Atlanta definitely has the right and the experience to bring out some weird strategy. We expect nothing less from the defending champions, but bold to say the least. Showcasing, that's the 5 and the 6. That's Gable and Mazar, who will be out and safe, with Gable now on second. Brings up catcher Nathan Schaefer. Next pitch from our mystery pitcher. Lefty will deliver. Down and inside. Schaefer at the plate still. The 1-0 count in favor. Face the next delivery. That one low again. Gainesville got 3 great innings out of Trey Farr, who has to be very happy with at least, I think you can be happy with all 3, even though you gave up 3 runs in the first, unfortunately. I mean, granted how the first inning of Monday night's game went and how your team has recovered and responded, you'll take it as that ball flies over above our heads. And that one, I think, might have caught somebody there, as that was a smack and a half, but followed by a sea of ooze. I think we're okay. Definitely glad to be in the booth with the roof over our heads. Seems like we're A-okay out in the stands, so we'll get back to play here. 2-1 count. Next pitch from Bell. Back at the pitcher. Bell slipping off the mound. We'll have to corral that one in. We'll do a great job of recovering. Runner will advance to third, but 2 outs now.
Now batting Colby Cather.
That'll bring Colby Cather up to the plate now to face our, once again, mystery pitcher. Gainesville, a lot of lefties that they've had to deploy in this series as well. But they've done a pretty dang good job. Got to give them all credit. Have all found success in their own right, especially this early in the season. Especially with this ballpark specifically as well. One of the larger ones, but also where a lot of hits have been had with back-to-back doubleheaders Monday night. Gainesville being at the tail half with Atlanta. On both of these doubleheaders, that one will foul off. Also, I will say this, if you got to watch the last game, you're getting some great baseball so far. I mean, we watched the Oconee Wild Things play the Atlanta Astros, and the Wild Things go on a 4-run run to find their way into a comeback in this game today. That one is struck out to right field. Will bring home an Atlanta runner. It's a great set of hitting from Nathan Schaefer. Or sorry, Colby Cather, excuse me. Great hit out to right field. Crocker's up 4-3 now in the top of the 4th.
Now batting designated hitter Jack Taylor.
Jack Taylor will return to the plate now. Atlanta always seems to find some of their best hits, especially Monday night, off of 1-out and 2-out rallies. Won't be able to get this one kick-started off the first pitch, but will be 1-0. Decent set of pitching from Bell so far, outside of a tough error earlier in this inning. Follow-up pitch is in. Is going to be low, makes it 2-0. Last game, Jack Taylor, again, didn't find too much success at the plate, but did reach a base on balls once and struck out once. However, absolutely nukes that one out towards center field, but it will not be enough. Will be tracked by Mason Archie, and that will be out number 3. We will go down to the bottom of the 4th, but not before Atlanta had to get one back and take the lead. We'll be back in just a second. It'll be Ben
Now batting for
Appleby to the
Gainesville,
plate
number
now.
14, Cade Kiz.
Appleby didn't get to pitch last game, standing at 6'3", representing Sugar Hill. The righty will try and keep Atlanta's lead safe as they push on through the fourth. Appleby's first pitch will be low and outside. Gainesville showed multiple innings, just like Atlanta on Monday night. They were able to get 3 to 4 runs at a time. That one will be a strike in the meantime, but also briefly talking about last game. Gainesville found 1 run every inning in the first 4 outside of the second, then found 6 runs in the 6th. They only seemed to get hotter as the game went on, but Atlanta did the same thing. 4 runs in the first, 4 runs in the 4th, 5 runs in the 6th. In what was once again the highest scoring game of opening week. Both teams only had 7 hits, though. Still finding 13 runs for Atlanta and only 7 for Gainesville. That one attempted to be turned on, but it will hit the hands. It's going to be Cade Kiz, who finds his way into a free base.
Now batting, number 4, designated hitter, Jason Williams.
Getting down into the 6th spot now, Jason Williams again. Region 6 to 6A Player of the Year, representing Denmark High School. Nothing short of an illustrious high school career. Once again at Denmark High School last spring. Or actually, that would be this spring, excuse me. Batted his way to 475, 47 hits, 29 RBIs, 20 stolen bases. Again, Gainesville find these speedsters out of what seems like nowhere. But also a lot of Forsyth County talent on this team as well. Third pitcher this game for Atlanta. Appleby will try to take on Williams here. That one. Check swing will be a ball. Next pitch, delivered high, will find us into a 2-0 count. Also worth mentioning as well where these two teams will be going next. On June 5th, the Gainesville Gol'Diggers will take on the Atlanta Astros. The Atlanta Crackers will take on the Alpharetta Aviators, both on June 5th. Next pitch is in for a strike. On that same note, this will end the 2-game series to kick off opening week between these two teams. Nobody wants to pull the defending champions, but Gainesville came to play on Wednesday night. Jason Williams. So Georgia Southern Command will take a big chunk of that one, makes it 2-2. One of the younger players on this team needing to show some big composure here in the bottom of the 4th. We're past the halfway point. Would love to have another wonderful 6-inning, 4-run swing. That one crushed out to left field, but is going to be tracked by Atlanta. That is Connor Hilton, the All-SBL Honors receiver, who will track that one down.
Number 17, Dawson Vaughn.
No tag up from Cade Kiz either, so that'll bring Dawson Vaughn to the plate with a runner still on first. First out of the inning will be found by Appleby as well. Again, Atlanta really have gotten their way in terms of the amount of pitchers and the amount of depth they have on this lineup. They brought in 5 pitchers to Gainesville's 4 last game, and they've already brought in 3 new ones today. And even though they're not having as dominant of a showing as that crew did on Monday night, again, you're the defending champions. You have this level of depth. It's early in the season. You will take a 4-3 lead right now in the bottom of the 4th. Appleby's next pitch on to Dawson Vaughn is going to be outside once again, brings it to 2-0. Still have Cade Kiz left on base. Still have Ozzie Patterson up next to bat. A.J. Jones, Evan Warren will follow it around out the lineup again, even though that's the 8, 9, and the 10, a very powerful and underrated set of batters. You want to go ahead and get Dawson now if you can. Appleby will try to do that with a first strike, but no, it'll be high. 3-0 now. Also talking about Dawson Vaughn, thought he was going to be a pitcher on this roster, but has filled the third base role representing Snead State Community College. He pinch hit last game, was 0-1. Will take his first strike. Brings the count to 3-1. Tonight, though, not a pinch hitter is starting over at third base. A lot of action over on that shortstop third base section for both of them, but Dawson Vaughn had a wonderful play last inning. That one smacked out to center field will be caught by a backtracking, forgive me here, Colby Cather once again, another incredible play, having to run back like an NFL receiver and catch that one. A defensive showcase to end all showcases tonight. I mean, both teams have had incredible plays from the infield and outfield. And here we are with a runner still on first and 2 outs. Ozzie Patterson up to bat now. Again, last game, 2 RBIs, 1 for 3. That one outside again. Appleby having a slight problem bringing that one down across the plate, but still trying to paint that outside corner. But also the defense has been there to bail him out whenever. Has pitched wonderfully, though. Does paint the outside there. Will bring it to 1-1. 2 outs. Gainesville not going to be in a wonderful spot in the top of the 5th. Again, sitting at the 9 and the 10 hitters who are up next. Would love to keep this rolling now. Big breaking ball across the plate. Brings it to 2-1. Ozzie will face the next offering here. No steal from Kiz. That one off the net. Brings it to 2-2. You get your first hitter on in an inning like this, but then you strand him potentially. I mean, Gainesville again had a huge problem. Stranded 5 total runs on base on Monday night. I believe if this one's left, it would bring their tally up to 3 for tonight. Cade Kiz will go and steal, but it will not matter, as Ozzie Patterson will take that one off the back, will be walked.
Now batting, the right fielder, number 1, A.J. Jones.
Still left to see if it's too little too late for Gainesville. Now 2 runners on base. Of all the players you'd want up next, though, again, A.J. Jones, somebody with a lot of speed, and also was walked 3 times Monday night. Very keen eye behind this plate. However, would love to bring home 1 or 2 here. That one, low and outside, it's going to be ball 1. A lot of horizontal movement for Ben Appleby, excuse me. Still trying to paint that outside, and also when they did look inside, Appleby did just walk a runner. That one will be counted directly as a strike. Check swing won't matter. 1-1 count now. 2 outs. Just need to put anything in play if you're Gainesville. Would love to get one of these home. That one, close but outside. No steal attempt from Kiz either. Not even a motion for it right now. Just letting A.J. Jones hit. That one. Check swing. Didn't go even a quarter of the way through, and it was a smart decision to hold off. 3-1 count now. Appleby had a great start with a little bit of help from the defense now in a very tough spot, potentially loading the bases. This pitch has to find its way inside. Jones will watch it go outside. Ball 4 and bases loaded.
Now batting, the extra hitter, number 25, Evan Warren.
At the very bottom of the Gainesville lineup, brings out Evan Warren, sitting in the extra hitter spot for the team. Also, struck out twice, was walked once on Monday night. Need to change that here to bring one home and tie this game up. Short pep talk for Appleby as well from catcher Nathan Schaefer. These are the moments you expect to see the defending champs really shine here. Again, they are an absurdly deep team, having, I believe, almost 40 players on the roster. They have 35 players on the roster. Worth mentioning as well that 19 of them are pitchers. 54% of their roster are pitchers. Digging deep into the bag here with Appleby. The 8th pitcher to show face in the last 3 days. However, having a very tough time, but also a great set of catches from Nathan Schaefer to keep that one from going by. 2-0 start for Appleby. Still 2 outs. But Gainesville, again, have a lot of speed. Not to mention you've got A.J. Jones and Ozzie Patterson on base. That one swung at. Will be 2-1 now. Gainesville, again, sitting at the 10 hole. Looking to get through Evan Warren's at bat here, bring in an RBI or 2 or 3, and then bring Almaroth up to the plate to reset the lineup. Swung towards second base. Is going to be a play in time. It will be a stretch, and it will be a foot on the base. Excuse me once again. Braden Warren, another great stretch out to keep this inning alive, or to end it, excuse me, to keep their team alive, as we'll find our way to the top of the 5th. Chase Griffith returns to the plate representing Montreat College and Brookwood High School prior. The 5'8", 160-pound pitcher had an inning stint last game. Also has this wonderful submarine release that will actually catch a strike to start.
Now batting, Braden Warren.
However, he comes into a pretty tough spot in the lineup, sitting at the 10 hitter Braden Warren. Looking at some of the best the SBL has to offer coming up next. Griffith as well last game. No hits allowed. Faced 4 batters. Had 1 strikeout. Very decent showing in one of the only scoreless innings that Gainesville was able to provide. I say one of the only. They had 4 scoring innings, but whenever 13 runs were scored in 3, kind of makes those look a little insignificant. But Griffith's was a highlight, to say the least. 0-2 pitch was close, but won't catch the outside of the plate. Atlanta did struggle with this release, but still did find a way to only keep him around for an inning. That one is going to be read perfectly, however, will bounce directly in front of the right fielder. There's nothing that A.J. Jones can do about that, even with his immense speed, and a 1-2 count will turn into a hit out and a single. It's also the first hit that Griffith has allowed here in Game 2 of the season. Now that brings Jaden Nunez up to the plate. Top of the lineup for Atlanta. Pitches in. Check swing. It was close, and it will be a strike.
Now batting third baseman Jaden Nunez.
Again, a very tough spot for Chase to find his way out of. Here comes the next pitch. That one inside. 2 inside, though. Will be 1-1. Griffith's next pitch will deliver outside. Brings us to 2-1. Last thing you want to do is let this Crackers squad get rolling on no outs. It's the exact opposite of what Gainesville showed us last inning. Griffith, that one will find the corner. Brings us to 2-2. Huge pitching from Griffith there. Looking to grab his first out at the top of the lineup with Connor Hilton up next. That one delivered. Forces a swing. Will be fielded. Oh, they wanted to go 2, but safest play will be chosen by Griffith. You'll take your first out. Runner will make his way to second.
Now batting left fielder Connor Hilton.
All-star Connor Hilton will find his way back up. Connor Hilton as well. 2 for 4 last game, 2 RBIs, only struck out once. So Griffith and Hilton have done battle before, I do believe, if my memory serves, but Hilton struggled previously. Griffith delivers that pitch in. That one, center but high. Brings us to ball 1, still 1 out. Submarine release from the righty trying to land on a fellow righty. It's a tough one to place. However, Griffith showed yesterday that they're able to do it. However, that pitch will be wild. It'll bring the count to 2-0, and there's nothing that Ozzie Patterson can do that'll bring Braden Warren all the way to third. Crackers still holding on to this 1-run lead here in the top of the 5th, and it only gets harder to take stabs at the defending champs the later that we go. However, Gainesville did once again show on Monday night they can grab 4 in a row. They did that in the bottom of the 6th. That one delivered will be struck. Will keep the runner at third long enough to absolutely hurl that over for out number 2. Once again, Griffith, great pitching moment. Caleb Farr is no slouch, however. As a sophomore center fielder at North Georgia, was the athlete of the year at his high school. Also his first team all-region in football and baseball. A lot of athleticism, but also a lot of strength behind the plate here. Caleb Farr will watch the first one go, and will be a strike. Griffith again had a wonderful inning last game. Looking to reciprocate that, even though they have allowed their first and only hit in this game. That one struck out, will bring the count to 0-2, and will just barely find its way foul down the third base line. Griffith looking to keep the game moving with one more here. Runner still just rearing from third. Force out, ready to go at first. That one looked good from up here, but was just a little too low. Count moves to 1-2, still plenty of room to work for Griffith. Also a more favorable batter's placement with the lefty here. Griffith's next pitch, that one outside, tries to catch him chasing. Brings it to 2-2 instead. Gainesville, again, really struggled with some of these rallies that Atlanta wants to get on. That one delivered high and inside, and a big strikeout to keep the Crackers up 1. Griffith, again, with a wonder type of inning.
One hit, no errors, one home run.
Chase Joyner will be the 4th pitcher of the game for this Crackers squad. Joyner, 6'1", a lefty representing Duluth. Again, 19 pitchers out of the 35 players on this Atlanta roster. They will use them. Joyner's first pitch of the inning. Breaking ball, will catch it for strike 1. Back to the top of the lineup for Gainesville. It's Anthony Almaroff once again. Who also did change numbers on us as well. It was 42, now it's 35 tonight. We'll also watch another strike go by. 0-2 now. Again, Atlanta has 19 pitchers. They're going to get through them all. Have to try and find success against one of them. Lefty delivers. That one outside. It's going to be 1-2 now. Gainesville's energy, though, still high. Third base coach still loud as ever, taking place of how loud the referees, or the umpires were, on Monday night. It's one of the highlights of that game. That one delivered low. Brings it to 2-2. Almaroth fighting back. Sitting here at the top of the 5th, or bottom of the 5th, Gainesville only going to get so many more and or few chances, but the way this game has been moving, I wouldn't bank on it. So you would love to find some production right here, right now. That one high and at the head of Anthony Almaroth, and will bring us the full count. These last few pitchers for Atlanta have had just a slight bit of challenge trying to overcome these first few pitches of the inning. Joyner, are they any different? Pitches in, that one outside. Ball 4, and 4 straight balls. How about that? What an eye from Almaroth. Brings a whole lot of speed to first base as well, especially with Amani Ford. Or actually, hold on now. Let me confirm that. Trying to make sure if that's number 6 or 16. That's 16. It's going to be Johnny Smith up to bat now. Bunt attempt. It's there and outside.
Number 16, Johnny Smith.
Johnny Smith is the first substitution at the plate for Gainesville, especially in the 2 spot. Bold move, but Johnny Smith trying to bunt and get Almaroth moving. That's 2 balls now. Johnny Smith representing Young Harris College, another Forsyth player at Lambert High School as well.
Nick Ford is catching for Atlanta.
Also, Nick Ford is catching for Atlanta. Bunt will find its way down the first base line. Will it remain fair? It looks like that answer is no. That one just barely will find its way out for foul. Bring the count to 2-1. Johnny Smith, pinch hitting, still fighting in place of Amani Ford. Trying to keep Almiroth moving. Bunt look once again. We'll take it back as it's outside. We'll bring the count to 3-1. Joyner still having a tough time getting settled in this one and potentially looking at a lot of speed on first and second base if he lets this one go. Next look to Johnny Smith. We'll take a hack out of that one. How about full count part 2? Had a high outside ball that got Almiroth the first. What's the delivery here for Joyner? The lefty delivers once again. That one, much better looking pitch, but also a better swing to keep Smith alive. Still full count. Still 0 outs as well. Gainesville left a bunch of runs on base last time. Had bases loaded and they couldn't find any RBIs. That one high and outside. Ball 4 once again. Johnny Smith comes in as the pinch hitter. Great success there.
Now batting center fielder, Mason Archie.
Mason Archie in the 3-hole come up now. This is where Gainesville wants to be. You're at the top of your lineup with a lot of talent left to go. Noah Darden in the hole next. Mason Archie, a lot of speed there as well. Mason Archie also with a triple last game. Not only that triple, but a triple that found his way to bring in what I believe was 3 RBIs. Yes, it was 3 RBIs. That was a part of the big 6th inning 4-run swing for them that kept them at least within somewhat of a striking distance. Archie looking to reciprocate that, or replicate it, excuse me, tonight. Still no outs. 2 runners on. Joyner's next pitch is high and outside. Seemed like that Archie might have stretched the leg a little too far there. Seems to be A-okay. Get right back in the box after stretching it out. Looking to keep these runners moving and potentially give Gainesville their first lead of the season. Follow up. Swung at. Just a little high on it, though. We'll slip behind him. Again, Joyner has really struggled to settle into this one. Allowing 2 full counts to slip by. Could make the world of difference with one swing of the bat, but could also go both ways with a few pitches here. Almiroth will steal. Will get there with no throw. Decision made behind the plate was to make sure the first base runner didn't move on, and runners now on the corners. I believe count will move to 2-1 now. I believe that was a ball. We'll make sure after this next pitch comes in. Archie will strike that one. Will bring Almiroth in. Is that a double play? However, that one will actually go past the first baseman. Mason Archie will not decide to take advantage of that opportunity, though. Runner is out at second, but Archie keeps it from being a double play and ties the game. Again, Gainesville has this game exactly where they want it. You bring up Noah Darden, the only returning Gol'Digger, here to the plate now. Lefty will look. Won't need to swing out of that one's outside and won't be corralled to hose that one, excuse me, to second. Stolen base for Mason Archie. Tie game. Gainesville in a prime spot to potentially take this one-out rally and put them in a leading spot. Next pitch is inside, will be fouled off. Brings the count to 1-1. Joyner still looking to find his first out here at the plate. That one, huge breaking ball, will find the side of the plate. One of his better pitches this inning will make it 1-2. Joyner still eyeing that Mason Archie behind him. That one inside will force a swing out of Noah Darden, but will once again be fouled. Count will remain at 1-2. You wonder if Archie will take a page out of Almaroth's book and try and find his way to third here, but seems to not be after the shortstop holding him well. Wanted to go there, but after watching that pitch almost take off the helmet, brings the count to 2-2 and will not stay. That's Luke Mezar out there, holding him honest. Does open up a lane for Darden to potentially find a hole there, but only if there's contact made. He's been late so far. That one, big breaking ball, forces a late swing and lucky to be foul. Darden still staying alive, definitely adding to the pressure on Chase Joyner, but could change this inning with a strikeout here. That one, another swing. It'll be slow. Darden's got a chance to be here. Miscommunication between first base and the pitcher, and Darden finds a way onto first. Runners at the corners all over again. Still 1 out. Big set of hitting from Noah Darden there. It'll bring Cade Kisbeck up to the plate. Or at least what is supposed to be Cade Kiz. No substitutes there from what we're seeing. So Cade Kiz now in a critical spot. Still 1 out. Looking to keep anything in play here. That one cracked over the shortstop will bring in a walking runner, and Gainesville's got their first lead of the season, especially here over the defending champs. First pitch look is just tapped over the shortstop. Gainesville's got a little bit of a rally moving now. Still only 1 out. Brings up Jason Williams back up to the plate. The lefty will face his counterpart. First pitch, bunt attempt was wanted, but after a great set of catching, we'll keep that one from being a wild pitch. However, it's still ball 1. That is also Nick Ford behind the plate as the catcher now. That one, fly ball, completely unaware of the situation there, was running and didn't turn back in time. So Gainesville, a critical error there in the base running, will turn that into a free double play. And even though they have the lead, you leave 2 runners on base there. So we'll hit the top of the 6th. It's getting down to prime time here in Decatur. We'll have more action in just a second. Top of the 6th here now with a 1-run game and a 5-4 at that. It has been nothing short of cinematic baseball here during opening week here at the Georgia State Baseball Complex. Still on the mound is going to be Chase Griffith. Once again, that submarine release is just diabolical for Atlanta. It's going to be an opening strike. As for who has to face him, that's Tyler Jackson, number 36. How about strike 2 as well? Also in the 4 spot for Atlanta, sitting here in the top of the 6th. If you let 3 batters go up and down here, you're in a pretty rough spot for the 7th. That one fouled off as well, still 0-2. Also, the catcher substitution, to restate that last inning, it was Nicholas Ford, so he'll be taking Nathan Schaefer's spot in the lineup at the 7th spot. Griffith. That one, close, but 2 inside. We'll bring the count to 1-2. Again, Griffith, through 2 innings, has only allowed 1 hit. Looking to do it for a 3rd and keep his dominance going. This release has been trouble. That one popped up. Should be in range for the catcher. Ozzie Patterson slips and isn't able to get to that one. A surefire out will be missed out on there. It'll force Griffith to regain and reintroduce himself here with still a 1-2 count. A tough one for Ozzie Patterson, but a great defensive showing for many of these Gainesville players. I'm sure they're going to be A-okay. Very rare error for Ozzie Patterson as well. Player who only made 1 error at Georgia Gwinnett College, where he is currently playing. It's a 96% fielding percentage for him behind the plate. That one outside brings the count to 2-2. Jackson still staying alive, the extra hitter. We'll look at another pitch here. 2-2 count. That one forces a swing, but it will be over the net. Another foul ball. Let's see what else is in the tank outside of that release for Griffith. Next pitch towards Jackson. That one off of Jackson into the catcher, but it will not matter. It's a base on balls. Or a hit by pitch, excuse me. Technically a base on a ball off his back.
Hey, it's not Ozzie anymore.
Oh.
It's not Oz catching anymore.
All right, correction as well. That is not Ozzie Patterson who is behind the plate in the catcher spot. We'll figure out who that is later, but I want to make sure I correct that. That was not Ozzie who had the error there. Next pitch, too far inside. Slightly wild, but still contained. That'll be ball number 1. Tyler Jackson will still sit on first base. Next pitch is in. That one high brings the count to 2-0. That is also Braden Gable, who still remains in the 5 spot. (2-0) count in favor. Chase will step off. Not worrying about that first base runner at all, trying to get back in the count here. Next pitch. Swung at and smacked out, but will be a foul ball down the third base line. At least brings him back to a 2-1 count. Griffith only has allowed a hit and 1 walk in 2 innings pitched. That one will force another foul as well, so still fighting. I also believe the catcher behind the plate. Still trying to figure that one out. I believe it's a newer player on the roster. So we'll hopefully get confirmation on that later down the line. Follow-up pitch, aimed to be outside. Will force another swing. Is that one going to stay inside of the net? Looked like it was not caught. So how about that? Still sitting at a 2-2 count. Griffith, still plenty of energy, jumping and trying to stay energetic in his release. As again, he's been electric for Gainesville and has been a much-needed crutch at times in his one-inning pitch in last game and now coming up on his second inning pitched here. Still no outs, however. Runner on first. Gable will face the next one with a 2-2 count. That one, huge swing between the left and center fielders. It will allow for a Tyler Jackson with full momentum to keep going towards third, and it's a stand-up double for Braden Gable. Still no outs for Chase Griffith.
Now batting shortstop, Luke Mizar.
He'll also bring in a pinch runner for Braden Gable as well. Or actually, I take that back. Gable just getting all of his extra batting equipment off. Will return to second base. And how about that for Atlanta? Can never count out the defending champs when, again, in any spot in this lineup, there's dependable hitting. But it will be a pitching change for Gainesville. We'll be right back in just a second once we figure out who that next pitcher is. Taver Hardin will step in to fill. It'll be his start. his debut for the Gainesville Gol'Diggers. We'll also start out with a strike.
Now pitching for Gainesville, Taylor Harden.
Taylor Harden as well, praised for a 90-plus on the fastball coming out of high school. Will be playing at Grambling State next spring. That one, however, cracked directly to the shortstop. It will find its way through, though, and it will be the tying run for Atlanta. That one was powerful, but again, a very rare, at least in this game, a rare defensive error, especially from Anthony Almaroth. Okay, well, Atlanta will stay alive and will keep things moving in the right direction after again, a rare error from Gainesville.
Number 27, Nick Ford.
That brings up Nicholas Ford. That's Nick Ford filling in for Nathan Schaefer. Trying to bounce back from an unfortunate set of plays at the mound last half inning. However, facing another newcomer in Taylor Harden. The righty will deliver. Again, shows that immense speed, Not only praised for a lightning fast 90-plus fastball, but also praised for a slider that can get as low as 75. He also committed in January of this year, so congratulations and the best of luck to him as he makes his way to Grambling State. Also sitting at 6'3", 205. Some of the best hair we've seen this game, too. Harden's next pitch. On to the substitute catcher will be high. Brings the count to 1-1. Both teams have made their way into four pitchers now. But Gainesville a lot thinner of a lineup than what Atlanta brought. That one delivered. Fast and outside. That'll be strike two. Atlanta sitting at the 7th spot with Nicholas Ford, but still Colby Cather up next, who's had some great defensive plays this game. Jack Taylor, Braden Warren to follow after him. Still no outs as well. Stepping off to keep the first base runner honest. Again, still looking for the first out after Chase Griffith could not do it. Next pitch, outside. Attempted to be framed, but will not be. That's also Casey Shanks for Gainesville behind the plate, who also had a pretty tough half inning. Runner will advance. Count will move to 2-2. Harden, next pitch, high again. Full count now for Gainesville. Trying not to let this game slip away from him. Last game here in the 6th, Atlanta found 5 runs. And this could be a repeat of it, as Harden will walk one and will fill the bases.
No. Cather.
Brings Colby Cather back up to the plate now.
For some
Sitting at the 8th spot, but still with bases loaded. There's a lot of potential here. Again, last game, Atlanta went on a 5-run if you will, here in the top of the 6th. Only 7 inning games, Do not want to let this one slip away. Harden's next pitch. Still lightning fast, but low and away. Ball 1 with 0 outs and bases loaded. Cather awaits the next pitch from Harden. Walked his first batter, looking to bounce back here. Pitches in. That one swung at and sky high, but will find its way behind the net. Foul ball, bring it to 1-1. Harden looking to dig deeper in the bag. Needs a little bit of tricks to get 3 straight outs here. That one down the gut but low. Brings the count to 2-1. Atlanta looking to get through this batter, and you could almost guarantee returning to the top of the lineup, especially with Nunez and Connor Hilton waiting up there. It's a dangerous spot to be if you're an incoming pitcher, especially Taylor Harden in the situation that he has now found himself in. Catcher Casey Shanks will go out and give a short pep talk. Sitting at 3-1 here, potentially looking at walking the leading run home. This game from the first inning was ready to go the distance. Both teams have fought back wonderfully, but still another inning to go on top of this. Harden's next pitch is low, bounces out. Will indeed be a walking runner home. Bases will remain loaded. Atlanta will take the lead. Still no outs. Will be an immediate timeout from the Gainesville coaching staff as well. Gainesville have got a long way to climb to get out of this inning. Bases are still loaded. You walk a runner in. Still have 0 outs. Now it's going to be Jack Taylor up to the plate now. Still guaranteed to return to the top of the lineup for Atlanta as well. First pitch. No question on what Harden's able to bring in terms of velocity to the plate, but still struggling to place it. We'll start out 1-0. Harden's next pitch delivered. Outside, makes it 2-0. Gainesville have fought so gloriously in this game to keep it close, but you can see it slipping away pitch by pitch at this rate. Harden needs to find a strike here. We'll try to get back in the count. We'll at least force it to be foul. Brings the count to 2-1, still trying to fight back. Brings on the theme that many of these pitchers have showcased tonight, that it is extremely hard to get settled in with the amount of talent between both these teams, and especially when you already have 2 runners on base after Griffith wasn't able to make it happen. You walk one of your own, bring another one in. That one as well, cracked between the first and second baseman. Will bring one in, looking to try and get one more. Ball will not get there quick enough. 2 runners will walk their way in. It brings Atlanta's tally to 8. And how about that from Jack Taylor?
Now batting number 29, Braden Warren.
Coming from the 9th spot in your lineup, up 3 runs now. Atlanta are in a dream spot with 0 outs. Guaranteed to see Jay Nunez and Connor Hilton, unless some theatrics happen for a double play. However, bases aren't loaded. There's at least a slight positive there. That one is absolutely crushed out towards center field. Is tracked down. Tagging up runner will make their way to third. We'll have to stop there. Great play from Mason Archie, once again tracking a fly ball down. Also will provide the first out. Still a long way to go now with Jay Nunez up to the plate.
Now batting third baseman, Jay Nunez.
Harden, no one to worry about directly behind him. Runners stranded at the corners for now. Nunez looking to change that. Check swing will be a strike. Was placed well by Harden. Still looking at potentially double play scenario if you can keep this ball in towards your infielders. That one struck. Foul ball will be 0-2 now. Taver Harden fighting back, but again, I wonder if it's too little too late for Gainesville. I mean, of all the places you want your rising freshman to be, it is a very tough spot coming out of high school and immediately stepping into a league like this with talent like this and trying to get your team out of a slump. That one is off the catcher and past home plate. It will allow for the runner to advance to second. Still only one out, but count will also jump to 1-2 now. Again, the Harden has to dig deep into that velocity, or at least in the bag of tricks, or maybe even a little bit of both. Try and get Jay Nunez off his rocker here. Trying to find that second out and then some. Next pitch. Low. Will bring the count to 2-2, but a great pickup from Nicholas Ford to keep that from being another wild pitch. Harden still trying to fight. Nunez to keep the rally alive. That one low and outside brings it to full count once again. It's the ultimate crossroads these pitchers tonight from both squads have found themselves facing. Seen a lot of these slip away. Harden looking for out number 2. Next pitch is in. That one smacked, and a diving play by the shortstop won't be found. It will be a 2 RBI single for the top of the lineup. And Jaden Nunez brings it to 10 for Atlanta. Instant timeout for Gainesville. No surprise there, as I referred to earlier, Atlanta found 5 runs in the top of the 6th on Monday night. And unfortunately for Gainesville, history has repeated itself as the game stands at 10-5, still with an inning and a half to go. So after all of that shuffling, as you guys could probably tell in the broadcast, a lot of bags of tricks were being pulled out from the Gainesville coaching staff, including one that almost put Jason Williams on the mound. And I have no pitching stats on Jason Williams, but it is A.J. Jones who will be on the mound now. And A.J. did have a decent showing last game, came in late in that one, pitched an inning, got a strikeout, no hits allowed in that inning. Now in a similar type of recovery spot as that one. Attempted to find a stealing runner, but instead that's 2 free stolen bases. And the woes just keep coming. 10-5 now off of that first pitch ball from A.J. Jones. Again, still sitting only in the top of the 6th. Still a whole inning left to go, but Gainesville have shown they can score runs in bunches. They did score 4 in the bottom of the 6th, but a very, very tough inning in a game that you were within striking distance of the entire time. Connor Hilton, especially not the batter you want at the mound right now. Breaking ball. Catches a little too much to the inside, brings the count to 2-0. Next pitch from AJ. High, 3-0. AJ's next pitch. Inside again. That'll be another batter walked. That'll bring Connor Hilton to first base. That'll bring Caleb Farr up. Atlanta have really made their rounds now, sitting at the 3 spot in their lineup. Still only 1 out. Pretty much in la-la land at this point in the game, but still looking for more runs here with still only an out. Caleb Farr. We'll look at that one go outside. Again, A.J. Jones had a strikeout and didn't allow really much of anything to happen within 4 batters last game, but already walks Connor Hilton. Trying to bounce back like all the pitchers before him have attempted. That one will find the zone. It will sit at 1-1. Connor Hilton, no move to steal yet either. Jones, next pitch. Connor Hilton will finally try to steal. That one is hosed down, but a late sweeping second and shortstop won't find their way into a tag. But also, great running from Connor Hilton was already there before the throw made its way. Runners move to second and third now. Count is at 2-1. Still with only 1 out. No such thing as a good place to be for a Gol'Diggers pitcher right now. Jones next one. Does at least force a swing. Will bring the count to 2-2. Gainesville just trying to stop the nightmare. Sitting at 11 p.m. Eastern time now. AJ's next pitch is high. Full count now. Trying to buy a strike if you're the Gainesville coaching staff. That's why you brought in AJ. Similar to Griffith, though, had a much harder time. And this one will be high. As that is now ball number 3. Excuse me, now the count is full. AJ. Jones looking to find one more. It will be outside. Ball 4. Bases are loaded all over again. Gainesville is in the inning that won't end.
Now batting number 36, Tyler Jackson.
4 spot, extra hitter, Tyler Jackson. A huge bat. Excuse me. That'll find his way to the plate now. Big potential here. That one, too high. Gainesville's defense has only hurt them in showcases, but this inning, it's been a lot of walks. Pitcher's really struggling to paint the outside of the zone. AJ will try, but that one is crushed to left field. Is it out? And it will be. It's crushed for a grand slam for Tyler Jackson. The extra hitter and all that power is put to use and then some in a highlight base-clearing grand slam. Brings the tally to 14 for Atlanta. And the defending champs get their first home run of the season off the grand slam of Tyler Jackson. Unbelievable run they're on right now. That brings their tally to 9 straight runs.
Now up, Braden Gable.
Braden Gable will try to follow up the fireworks show. Bases cleared. A.J. Jones' mind can be a little clearer, but 1-0 start will make it hard to do so. Jones' next pitch, too high. Brings the count to 2-0 now. Jones' next pitch finally catches the inside. Again, Gainsville trying to buy a strike. Will get one there. I was saying right before Tyler Jackson's grand slam that as that breaking ball will go high, I was saying the defense for Atlanta really hasn't been hurting them much this inning. It's been a lot of walks and some big, perfectly placed hits, including now a grand slam. However, foul ball will keep the count full now, as Braden Gable tries to keep this one alive. This is the run to end all runs. Again, 9 straight runs. That one cracked out towards left field, but not as far as Tyler Jackson's, and it will be corralled. 2 outs now for Gainesville. The end is in sight for them to try and get out of this 6th inning. Still have to go to bat twice as well, as Luke Mazar will try and keep the nightmare running. Mazar will face his first pitch. Down the middle for strike 1. Follow-up pitch for Jones. Breaking ball attempt is a little too high. Next offering from Jones. That one down the middle is found and just, again, placed so perfectly between multiple fielders. Great piece of hitting to get him onto first. That'll bring Nicholas Ford back to the plate. Believe that makes it now the 2nd time this inning for most of these batters.
Now batting, Nick Ford.
Again, A.J. Jones 1 out away from a half inning that has taken a lot out of the Gol'Diggers' sails that were flying in the first few innings. Pitch, low and outside, will be fielded by Casey Shanks. However, ball 1. Follow-up offering from Jones. Breaking ball once again too high. Makes it 2-0. One more look. That one finally finds its way into the zone. Will force a swing. Makes it 2-1. For those of you looking for stats to track, the score to beat for the highest scoring game in opening week was 13-7 from this exact game on Monday night. Trying to beat 20 runs, though, won't be easy, and A.J. Jones forces a big swing there. Nicholas Ford subbed into this game about an inning ago now. We'll find that one. Needs to be fielded to first. Running throw will be found. And Gainesville finally put an end to the nightmarish inning of all time. And they will try to bounce back with 2 bottom innings to hit with. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th as we continue on from Decatur shortly. Bottom of the 6th, we'll bring in the 10th pitcher of the game in Harrison Perkle, one half of the Perkle brothers on this team. As his brother Hunter, number 24, a junior, currently at, forgive me, double checking my notes, sitting at Emmanuel University. Harrison Perkle, the younger brother, sophomore, at Shorter University. Younger brother Harrison will try to get a move on here. We'll do so as strike 1. Atlanta coming fresh off of a 9-run, really drought for Gainesville, as they couldn't find anything on the pitching end or get close enough to make any plays on the fielding end. Atlanta, again, showing why they are the defending champs, and they've only gotten stronger. Again, they are a 35-man roster, where over half of their players, 19 to be exact, are pitchers. Whereas Gainesville has really had to dig deep. I mean, A.J. Jones, who was a position player in the first game and a pitcher, had to do it again last inning just to keep them, away from getting a 10-run drought moving. But you did at least make it out of that inning alive. However, it's 11:10 Eastern Time. Game only gets harder at this rate. That one is cracked out. Will be tracked by the center fielder. The right fielder actually will call it off. There will be a fly out and the first out for Atlanta.
Now batting number 43, Casey Shanks.
That was Dawson Vaughn with the fly out there. Great contact, but unfortunately not in the gap enough. Casey Shanks, who came in to substitute for Ozzie Patterson, trying to showcase the bat that he can provide. Excuse me. Next pitch from Perkle, breaking ball. Will be ball one. Perkle's next offering.
Oh,
That one low and outside. Will be 2-0 now. Not sure if Stream can hear it, but also the perks of being within the loop of Atlanta. There are still planes flying overhead, making their way towards Hartsfield International. Perks of playing in Atlanta. Strike one, the perk of a good pitch there. But I will say those planes are quite loud and would hate to have to pitch with that as a background noise. Perkle, however, so far so good with one out. Next pitch. Foul ball will make it 2-2. Atlanta trying to get home. Still got to go through another inning here. Gainesville trying to get a comeback moving, but just like last game, I wonder if it's too many runs too late and also too little too late from the hitting column. Still time to try and beat their tally of 7 from last game. Pitch in from Perkle. That will be, I believe, called strike at the plate. How about that? Turning the 2-2 into a strikeout. It's 2 outs now for Perkle. Brings A.J. Jones to the plate now. One of the many speedsters on this roster. Going to need a little more than one of them to get involved to get this game back into fruition, or at least striking distance. Pitch from Perkle. Catches the inside for strike one. Putting on a clinic so far after a fly out and a strikeout earned. With his brother watching in the dugout. That one crushed out, but will be foul. Can the left fielder get there in time? Will field it quickly. And how about that? One half of the Perkle brothers make their way in. Heard the parents making sure we got their names right as well, so you know there's a lot of pride in that household. For good reason, as we'll go to the top of the 7th. Evan Warren will now take the mound, moving from the extra hitter spot to now pitching to try and keep Gainesville alive in this one. However, ball 1 and 2 will fly by.
Now batting, second baseman Colby Gaither.
Sitting at the 8th spot in the lineup as well, you would hate to make your way towards the top of the lineup, but swinging strike 1 will keep Warren alive. I will also admit that we do not have any stats on Evan Warren as a pitcher, but with a rising freshman on the mound, a lot of these players are fresh off of combines where they had to pitch or were forced to pitch, and the lefty will be a nice little change of pace, I believe, and so far so good. That pitch, however, will be ball 3 and 4, and we'll see a runner make their way on balls again. Again, Gainesville fresh off the nightmarish 9-run swing that the Crackers provided. Again, the defending champs for good reason. Found a way to score 13 last game. Find a way to score 14 now. That one, low, will be ball 1. We've also beat the record for the latest game as well. We got out of here about 11:15 on Monday nights, 11:17 now. But we're in it for the long haul. Gainesville has to be in it for the long haul to try and stay alive in this one. Follow-up pitch from Warren will be struck to third base, who will try to turn 2. There's one, looking for the second, and will find it. So how about that for Evan Warren? With a little bit of help from Dawson Vaughn, find his way into a double play and 2 outs.
Now batting number 29, Brayton Warren.
Evan Warren will now face his evil twin in Braden Warren. I don't know if they're actually related, but share a last name. That one will be struck off the first pitch. Cannot be tracked down by Johnny Smith. So runner will move to first. By balls or by swing, Atlanta will still find a way to get a runner on base. They'll also find a way to return us to the top of the lineup again. Jaden Nunez will absolutely smoke that one out towards center field. Will be tracked down and caught by Mason Archie. And so Gainesville will go relatively 3 up, 3 down with a runner or 2 slipping through the cracks. But for Evan Warren to come out of the extra hitter slot and find his way onto that one, you'll absolutely take it as we go to the bottom of the 7th. What do the Gol'Diggers have in store? Will we have extra innings? We're a long way from it, but we'll take it game by game. Take it pitch by pitch, excuse me, in just a second. Noah Hamilton, representing Locust Grove, will step up to the plate now. Excuse me. Again, it's been a long night. Will step up to the mound as the 12th pitcher of the game.
Now, batting number 25, Evan Warren.
Evan Warren, fresh off the mound, will find his way to the plate now. At the bottom of this Gainesville lineup, trying to keep them alive here in the bottom of the 7th. It is do or die here in prime time. 11:30 on the clock almost. Atlanta trying to beat that. Already will find a strike one. Moved very quickly through the bottom of the 6th. At the hands of Harrison Perkle. Looking on pace to do the same now, making it 0-2. Again, I know I've said it 1,000 times as broadcast, but there's 19 pitchers on this Atlanta Crackers squad. It is insane the amount of depth that they have, as we've seen 6 different pitchers than the 5 different pitchers who we saw on Monday night. Big swinging strikeout from Evan Warren there. Will now bring us to the top, and it'll bring us to Anthony Almaroth.
Now batting, shortstop, Anthony Almaroth.
One batter up, one batter down. In the span of 3 days, again, the 11th pitcher total for Atlanta, the 12th pitcher of this game alone for both teams combined. Noah Hamilton looking to keep the good thing going. That one curves in to find the corner of the zone. Big opening strike. It's been nothing but strikes for him so far. Follow-up pitch for Hamilton. That one. No penmanship. 1-1. Staring at the top of the Gol'Diggers lineup. If they're going to get something going, you have to do it now, but this would be the guy to do it. That one, low and inside. Still a lot of offense. Again, Gainesville, even though they have been, unfortunately, looking to be blown out in both these games, they've put up a decent amount of runs. Some of the other teams across the league have struggled to reach 5. Gainesville hit 7 last game, sitting at 5 now. Big swing from Almaroth, though. We'll make it 2-2. For any of our multi-sport watchers as well, I'm sure you enjoyed a very good Game 1 of the NBA Finals as the Knicks went to San Antonio and took down the Spurs in Game 1. From one series to another, this one, though, looks to be all Atlanta. Looking to 2-0 in the series and kick off their championship defending run. Seems to be pretty likely if this keeps up. Sitting at 2-2 now with a foul ball. Almaroth staring at the follow-up pitch. Close, but no cigar. Will be full count. Johnny Smith in the hole to follow up. Again, a lot of speed in these next few batters. A lot of power as well. Almaroth, again, would be the person to kickstart this. Looking for this pitch right here, inside, and will walk. No outs, runner on first now. This is how Gainesville have to do it. It's going to have to be a long-winded attempt. You're going to have to go through many Atlanta pitchers. You're off to a good start.
Now batting, Johnny Smith.
Johnny Smith now will find his way up to the plate. Gainesville, a lot of younger players. Johnny Smith, one of the veterans next to Almaroth. Johnny Smith representing Young Harris. We'll watch that one be a ball as Almaroth is almost caught. Be a very, very sad way for a Gainesville fan to lose an out there. However, Almaroth stays alive. Has been kept honest a lot tonight. How about a second time? Close, but again, won't find it. Got to respect the surprise out of Noah Hamilton going back-to-back. Now we'll focus down on the batter. First pitch will find its way towards Johnny Smith. That one. Johnny Smith turns on it well. Can the left fielder get there in time? I believe it did bounce. I don't believe it was caught, so Johnny Smith will barely find his way on base there. And all of a sudden, Gainesville have got a thing going. Again, you're where you want to be in this situation. You go through your 1 and your 2 batters. You get on second and first. That'll bring Mason Archie now to the plate.
Now batting, Mason Archie.
Again, Mason Archie did have a 3 RBI triple last game, along that 4-run swing that Gainesville found in the bottom of the 6th on Monday night. Could we see anything resemble that right here, right now? Noah Hamilton, after allowing 2 batters on, wants to try and change that. First pitch will find the plate. Strike 1. There is 1 out, by the way. I want to make sure I didn't misspeak there. Noah Hamilton did find the first batter. Still looking to make do with the rest of the lineup. Looking for out number 2. That one will come across the plate for strike 2. Atlanta has definitely taken a nothing but gas approach this season and last season. They're going to be hunting for their 6th SBL championship this season. They won 4 straight not too long ago. Got their first in a few years last year. Count still remains at 0-2 after the foul ball. Even though there's a lot of speed on the lineup, you do not want to try and hit anywhere near shortstop or second here. Again, would hate to watch the game crumble like that. Next pitch. Outside for the first ball to count. Archie will step back in. What's next from Noah Hamilton? Righty will deliver. That one close but outside. Back-to-back balls make it 2-2. Gainesville, again, even though they've struggled to beat this Atlanta squad, they absolutely have the eyes, absolutely have the veteran presence on this lineup. They've showed that. They fought back in many counts. Is this going to be another example of that? Swing will be straight down, put in play. Mason Archie trying to get there in time. Will be caught. That brings it to 2 outs now, even though the runners do find their way to second and third. Brings out Noah Darden.
Now batting, Noah Darden.
It's being reminiscent of Monday night. Noah Darden was the last hitter to play in Monday night's game. Now with, again, being the only returning player from last year's roster. Holds the crest to his name. Trying to defend it at the plate here. We'll watch ball 1 go by. We've seen a lot in this game, but to potentially see a 9-run rally again with 2 outs, it's a tall task. Needs to start right here, right now. That one will skip to the shortstop. Running throw to first will call game. And Noah Darden again will be the last Gainesville player to bat. And that will call it for the game. Atlanta goes on a 9-run rally to find a way into a 14-5.
14-5 over Gainesville. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. Everybody have a safe drive home and a great rest of the week. Thank you very much for supporting the Sunbelt Baseball League.
An unbelievable set of batting from these teams. And Atlanta, again, the defending champs for good reason. As across the rest of the league today, Brookhaven, the Bucks took down the Cannons 9-7 in a banger. The Aviators took down the Monsters 6-3. And if you missed that Wild Things Astros game earlier today, man, you missed out. The Wild Things had a 4-run swing in the bottom of the 7th to grab that win. We thought this one was going to go the same distance, but unfortunately for the Gainesville fans, you take 2 blowouts to the chest, and you will try to regain when you see the Astros this weekend. That is Friday and Saturday. Those 2 teams will play. But be sure to catch not only that action, but all of the action this Friday and Saturday. I've been TJ Stevens. Wish you a very blessed night.